The book Roll of Honor, the title is taken from a military term. In almost all headquarters, you have a list of illustrious soldiers of that regiment or brigade or whatever. So this book is located in a military school in Punjab in the year 1984, when the government of India has attacked the Golden Temple, and a Sikh adolescent boy is growing up in the military school to join the Indian Armed Forces, and suddenly his loyalties are divided between the nation and between his community. What happens is that an ex-student comes seeking sanctuary into the school, something which he can't disclose to the authorities, and he ends up giving sanctuary to that ex-student, and that ex-student turns out to be somebody else who is actually anti-national, and that is the culmination of the problem for the young boy. He does not know where he stands vis-a-vis his loyalties, vis-a-vis his identity, vis-a-vis his choices in life further on. There is a little bit of thrill because there's this young boy and there is a situation around him, but the book really actually explores questions of identity, questions of loyalties, and then because it is 1984, because the riots have happened, so also the question of the community, the question of where do Sikhs feel vis-a-vis India. And it's written in two voices. It's written as an adult man who is reflecting upon his school days, and throughout the narrative there are these two strains which go on and both reflect on each other, because the adult man is now able to sit and judge the boy's actions, the boy was he himself, and comes to certain conclusions about what is really religion and what is really a nation, and it posits the dilemma of what is formal and what is formless, what is religion and what is conscience. That's the kind of story it is. Yeah, throughout the book, it keeps shifting point of view. There is the adult voice and there is a young boy who comes in, and throughout the story, that's how the whole story proceeds. It's not chapter-wise, it's within chapters, within paragraphs, the timeline keeps shifting between the two, but we used a straight font and an italicized to distinguish that, okay, these are the two voices. Well, the number of reviews and the amount of appreciation which has come by for the book definitely means that the readers understand completely. It's very strange, there's not been a single negative review of the book. It's been reviews, interviews, and all that have come, I don't know, at 70, 100 places. So the technique is not in question at all. But the point of the book is, I think it registers with the readers. There is a large autobiographical element to it, but autobiographical element in itself does not fit fiction genre as easily. So the timelines have been shifted, characters from real life have been expanded or collapsed so that it runs seamlessly in that sense. But the essence of living under the fear of something wrong going on, both in the school and in the society, because Punjab was ablaze for around a decade at that time, 84 to 95. That sense is the essence of the book, and that comes through the book. Yes, I mean, I read up everything that was available, listening to Bhindranwale's CDs, going down to the Golden Temple and reading accounts of army officers who were in the operations, reading accounts of people who have suffered militancy, both Hindu and Sikh. And so that amount of research did go into the book. I don't think a writer needs to be in a place where he gives a solution to a problem. I think good writing worldwide is that kind of writing which details the problem of a situation, and actually, there's a fancy term, problematizes the reality for the reader, so that I think there are no solutions to militancy, there are no solutions to people asking for cessation, there are no solutions to deaths, there are no solutions to riots. In a writer's hand, I mean, that would be just theoretical to give a message. The reality is that the human side of things has to be reckoned with when we are going through immense political turmoil. It does feature in the book because, and I use BBC's news clips to establish what the Indian Army was doing, and again with permission of BBC, and that worked quite well. The book starts a month before Operation Blue Star, when the boy is at home on holidays, and suddenly the operation takes place and his best friend is picked up and killed, and he's going back to school. So Operation Blue Star does feature in the book. Yeah, it ends with the adult, it ends with an adequate probing of the cycle of violence, the adequate probing of who is a predator and who is a prey, an adequate probing of what really is the voice of the conscience, and it ends at a note where there is a little bit of hope, because the young boy just didn't die. The young boy worked through the violence in his own life and came to an understanding where he begins to live with the society that he is in, and which is the composite Indian society. I think in that sense there are only two states in India which have come out of terrorism. There's Punjab and there's Tripura. Nowhere else have the guns stopped. And we are still going through immense churn in terms of majority-minority politics in the country. We are moving towards an elections which are really going to define the secular or the non-secular nature of Indian nation. And I think voices like this should come from different parts of the country so that people understand what it means to go through violence and what are the possible ways in which they can come to terms with it.